Mr. Salve, I know the media is a favorite whipping boy or whipping girl for everybody. Everybody finds fault. If you look at issues in their merit, you will be seen either against X or for Y. That is the society that we are living in, where you said everything is a binary. If you criticize the government, then you are with the opposition, and if you criticize the opposition, then you are a bhakt. And therefore you are Godi media, Modi ki Godi. Those are the kind of words that I use. So the media gets it on both sides. We are in a binary society. And in such a situation, I want to ask you, that's how the public expects ke roz sham ko, there should be somebody who should be held guilty for the failures of that day, and tomorrow is another new day. I want to ask you, in this entire COVID scenario, there is the Allahabad High Court which says in 5 cities, 2-week lockdown. In some other cities, a 3-week lockdown. Now, if the courts are going to do all of this, then the pressure is certainly off the governments and the administrators, because they really don't have anything much to do other than just hope and pray that people will forget this by the time the next election comes.
See, that is the other problem, Navika. Judges also have to be careful not to be used. Whenever people tell me the courts are stepping out of line, I say the problem was created by the government. I still have not forgotten 1992, when Mr. Milan Banerjee, the late Attorney General, that my armies are waiting outside, my forces are waiting outside Ayodhya, my lord, waiting for your lordship's signal. And Justice Venkatacharya was hearing the case saying it's their commanders who give signals, not us, Mr. Attorney. Why did he say this? Because the government did not want to be seen as taking a position, namely, should they prevent the Karseva by force or not. They wanted to pin it on the courts. So sometimes this does happen, that you don't want to declare a lockout, you leave it for the judges to declare a lockout, so that you do not bear the political consequences of your decision making. So, and sometimes judges in India say, very well, if you are not willing to make the decision for the wrong reason, very well, we don't have to win election, we'll give you a direction. So that's how maybe the Allahabad High Court felt it was necessary to order lockdown in 5 cities. And if it was challenged in Supreme Court, well, the Supreme Court, if you look at it strictly, it is not for the court to decide, because it's a policy matter whether to lock down or not to lock down, because there are upsides, downsides to all this decision making. It's the way in which I have no problem if the court decides that the reasons presented by the government and the plans presented by the government do not rise up to constitutional standards of policy making. If the government has a policy based on scientific evidence, you defer to it. If the government has no answers and says, we don't know what is going on, then you whip the government into shape and say, well, you have to take a call. And if this is your evidence, the call has to be shut down. And the government says, well, that's fine then you order the shutdown, you order the lockdown. So you have to see it decision by decision. The point which I was trying to make is, the courts are today in India no longer, as I say, they are no longer mere tribunals which resolve disputes between parties. Our courts have become an institution of governance, which complements the executive. So you have the legislature, below which you have the political executive, then you have the civil service executive, and then you have a co-equal institution of constitutional governance, the courts, and all of us have to work in harmony for a better governance and a better system. And if we all talk in a vocabulary which is palatable, rather than a vocabulary which is polarized, it helps everybody. Name calling doesn't get any problems solved. Unfortunately, we become a society where, as you very rightly say, every evening, one person has to be pilloried and bashed.